Hi there, I'm Keane, this is Crossing the Floor. Now today I want to talk about the really important issue of 3D TV. If you haven't upgraded your TV set in the last decade by buying an LCD or plasma set, well, your recalcitrance is about to be rewarded because you'll be able to skip straight to the next generation of TV sets, 3D TV, that, as the name suggests, enable you to enjoy television in 3 dimensions. Provided, of course, you're wearing those silly glasses and provided that there's some actual 3D content available. There's a slight problem with that in that there's very little of that so far, and what little has actually been broadcast hasn't exactly set the world on fire. People watching a 3D broadcast of that golf tournament featuring that golfer last week complained that they couldn't actually see the ball. I don't know much about golf coverage, or for that matter, much about golf, but I imagine not being able to see the ball is probably a slight drawback. Viewers watching soccer in the UK were more enthusiastic.
Yeah, so far absolutely brilliant, really good. Yeah, it's just completely different perspective, straight.
I felt the ball coming right at me. It was amazing.
Gives you a really different perspective. It's quality, really, really good. Yeah, amazing.
But even if you like wearing silly glasses and your idea of televisual excellence is people hurling objects at the camera, it's hard to see what kind of benefit 3D TV is really going to give to most audiences. In fact, I reckon it's a pretty good indicator of our economic system that it prioritises spending billions of dollars designing and manufacturing a completely useless system like 3D TV. Then again, if you think that way, well, you'll end up in North Korea. And in North Korea, of course, they don't even have 1D TV. And I deliberately missed the point anyway, because 3D TV will be beneficial, mainly to the world's biggest television manufacturers, most of whom endured a seriously bad year last year. The television manufacturing divisions of Sony, Panasonic and Samsung all posted sizable losses in 2009, but they all expect to do much better in 2010, partly on the back of 3D TV sales. Sony is forecasting selling an extra 10 million TVs on top of its 15 million from last year, and 1/4 of those extra sets will, it reckons, be 3D. 3D TV might also prove a big winner for our free-to-air television networks. In a couple of years' time, the oligopoly that is our free-to-air TV industry is going to have to hand back the huge slabs of spectrum that they were given by the previous government in order to lock out competition in the late 1990s. Back then, the rationale was high definition, and some of you can probably still remember the claims that were made about how great HD was, about cinema quality pictures and CD quality sound, all advanced by the free-to-air television proprietors like that tax dodger Kerry Packer. It was all garbage, of course. In fact, some networks never even broadcast proper HD, serving up some half-assed version that dressed up standard definition mutton as HD lamb. No one really cared anyway because viewers didn't give a stuff about HD in the first place. Well, now the free-to-air networks are trying the same stunt again, this time with 3D TV. Although there is a slight problem that if you actually watch 3D TV without the glasses on, it kind of looks all fuzzy, making 3D TV the first new television format to actually significantly reduce the quality of the picture. The free-to-airs have undertaken a major push to use 3D TV as their excuse not to have to hand back that spectrum. The oligopoly mouthpiece Free TV Australia recently told the government's digital dividend review that the industry needed to hang on to some of that spectrum so that they could roll out 3D TV services. And 10 Chief Grant Blackley told an industry conference last month that the government needed to gift some of that spectrum back to the free-to-airs so that they could roll out 3D TV. There was, according to Free TV Australia, a high level of consumer and media interest in developments in 3D television broadcasting. This accords with the usual high standards of factual accuracy and intellectual rigour that you get from the TV oligopoly. There's no evidence of consumer interest in 3D, just like there was no evidence of consumer interest in HD all those years ago. And now there's talk of a rapid rollout by Sony of 3D TV in Australia ahead of the Soccer World Cup later this year, so that Australians will be able to see 3D images of all those empty seats in South African stadiums. But just to show that Australia isn't the only country whose television broadcasters are gouging oligopolists who treat the public with contempt, the European Broadcasting Union, a peak body of European TV and radio companies, is also pushing that they be given free spectrum in order to run 3D TV as well. When the free-to-airs ran the HD scam back in the 1990s, they could get away with it because of the lack of competition. Well, that's all changed now. Like the print media, TV's under siege from online media in a way that they've never been before. The 3D TV push really just does show how little they've learnt over the last 10 years. They still think that they can aggregate big audiences using gimmicks and a supposedly better viewing experience, when all the evidence shows that consumers want choice and control. That's why so many of us now consume our television via subscription TV or on a computer screen, watching programs that the networks don't always want to show us at times that are convenient to us rather than convenient to the broadcasters. And you know what's going to happen in 5 years' time? There'll be another round of new TV sets, and there'll be another round of demands from the TV broadcasters to be protected from competition. Because the one thing they won't give viewers is choice and control, despite the fact that that, in the long run, is the only thing that's going to save them.